But if you're coming on here for the first time, I don't even know you. And I want you to do well. Why is that? Because I love my country. I love these United States of America. Not because of the government, but because of you, the people. Hello, YouTubers. Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a thought today because I've heard a lot of people say this. Now, before I say what that thought was and what it is that I've heard a lot of people say, I am a person of faith. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? It doesn't matter what your faith is. I hear a lot of people say, well, God is going to save me. God is going to take care of me. And that may be true, ladies and gentlemen, in the spiritual world. You know, after we leave this physical earth, then hopefully we'll end up wherever it is that we want our faith to take us after we're gone. But ladies and gentlemen, who is going to save you? Who is going to save you here and now? You see, I consider my life a gift. I consider being here where I am right now, today, in this time right now. As I'm doing this video, I consider this a gift. And I consider being placed here as an honor that I will always cherish. So I will do everything in my ability to continue to live in order to honor that entity that has allowed me the privilege to be here. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story that's kind of like a little story joke. I've heard it 1,000 times, and you probably have too. But maybe there's one or two of you out there that haven't heard this. And it's a story about a man that was in a flood zone that started flooding. And the first day that his town started flooding, law enforcement officers and first responders came to his door and knocked and said, "Sir, you have to evacuate because this entire area is going to flood." And the gentleman said, "No, God will take care of me." And they said, "Okay." The second day, the water had risen all the way up to the top of the ceiling of the first floor. So that gentleman had to go to his second floor. And someone in a boat came by and says, "Sir, come on, jump out of your window. Come with us. The floodwaters are going to get even higher. You're not going to be able to survive this." And the gentleman said, "No, I have faith that God is going to take care of me." And the third day, ladies and gentlemen, the water got all the way up to the roof line. And he had to break a hole through his ceiling up onto his roof so he can climb up on top of his roof. And a helicopter came by and threw him down a ladder and said, "Come on up with us." They used a bullhorn. "Come on up. You know, you're not going to survive this if you stay there." And the gentleman said, "No, God will take care of me." And on the fourth day, ladies and gentlemen, some rescue divers were retrieving his body because he had drowned. And this person's spirit made it all the way up to the pearly gates. And he was confused. He was like, "What am I doing here? Did I die?" And he says, "St. Peter's, I need to speak to the man because there's a problem here. I need to speak to the man and I need to get some answers." And he goes and he talks with God and he says, "God, I've cherished you all my life. I've followed the commandments to a T. I've always been a good person. And in my time of need, you forsaken me. You left me to die." And God said, "Son, I sent you some rescuers the first day. The second day, I sent you a boat. And on the third day, I sent over a helicopter to get you. What more did you want me to do?" See, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be tested in the days, months, and years to come. And who is going to save you? Consider this someone telling you, "Hey, get out of there because you're going to drown." And the message is this: you need to prepare. As I've been saying for years, I'm trying to find different ways to say it so that I can reach different people. Because who is going to save you if not yourself, by the actions that you take today, by the actions that you take now? What is it going to take for the population of this country, these United States of America, and all other countries, for the population to realize that government will not be able to take care of you during a severe crisis, national crisis, or even a regional crisis? Government cannot take care of you, ladies and gentlemen. You have to take care of yourself. You can only depend on yourself and your family first and foremost. Then your church, then your community. And then, if things are bad enough, maybe your state. But that's the question, ladies and gentlemen. Who is going to save you when the time comes, had you not prepared for what is coming? I don't need to stand here and tell you this is going on, this is going on, that's going on. Just look around. Do you really need to be convinced that you need to start prepping, that you need to ramp up your prepping? If you are prepping, outstanding. Are you filling in your gaps? Do you need to be convinced that government is only there for government? Do you really think that if a tsunami or a meteor was going to hit your town, that you would be told on time? You would be told only after those that matter, right? Quote, matter, are safe. Have you ever seen when a president's life is in danger? What happens? Have you ever seen when there's maybe like a gunman and a president's life is in danger? What happens? Do the Secret Service jump in front of you? Or do they jump in front of the president? They jump in front of the president and get him out of danger. They don't jump in front of you. You're not even in their mind. They don't care about what happens to you. So what do you think is happening now? The government itself is preparing. The elite are preparing. I mentioned this several videos ago and probably over a year ago as well, that in New Zealand, the government had to pass a law there to keep foreigners from buying land. Because foreigners, millionaires and billionaires, were buying land in mass, building bunkers and building retreats. That way they can have a bug out location for when the SHTF, as many people like to call it, happens. So who is going to take care of you? Who are you relying on to take care of you when the time comes that you can't count on anyone else? Ask yourself that question. Do you have a family that you are responsible for? Have you looked at them and asked yourself, how am I going to provide for them in the worst of times? Some people are going through the worst of times right now. In this country right here, some people are going through the worst of times. They're going through their own SHTF. And they're relying on one entity to take care of them. And that's the government. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that's not going to last forever, because mathematics does not lie. Nature does not lie. 1 + 1 = 2, and it will always equals 2. You need to really consider stopping all of the excessive spending that you may have in your life right now, and concentrate on how you're going to get by during a time when the things that you rely on won't be available, to include your job. Don't be that person that relies on someone else for what you need. Because as soon as you do this, and I'll say it for the 1,000th time, as soon as you rely on someone else for what you need, your freedoms are lost. Your sovereignty is gone. If you're that person that thinks that government is going to take care of you when times get really rough, then you are telling yourself that you are okay with giving up your liberty for a loaf of bread, because that is what it's going to come down to. Why not buy that loaf of bread now and put it away? And of course, I'm using a loaf of bread as just an example. Maybe I should have used a can of chicken. Why not buy it now and put it away? That way you don't have to give up your free will for that can of chicken later on down the road. It's a simple solution. I see a lot of people suffering in the future, and I just don't want you to be one of them. And I don't even know you. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of you who watch this video I know, because you're part of the community, of the Alaska Prepper community. But if you're coming on here for the first time, I don't even know you. And I want you to do well. Why is that? Because I love my country. I love these United States of America. Not because of the government, but because of you, the people. And the only way that a country can be as strong as it can possibly be is through its people, not through its government. So the better prepared that we, the people, are, the better off that our nation will be when hard times arise. And although hard times are here for many, trust me, hard times are coming. And for some, it will be harder times. Ladies and gentlemen, take some time to prepare. It doesn't take a lot. Do some payday preps. If you don't know what a payday prep is, because you just happen to come onto this video by happenstance, just take a look at my payday prep videos. Take a look at the earlier ones where I show you how you can actually prepare and get sustenance that will feed you and your family for pennies on the dollar, for cheap. Anyone can prepare. Anyone can be better prepared. Ask yourself a question. For those of you that remember what happened in Texas, here back in February, when they had that deep freeze, where over 100 Texans passed away from the cold. Ask yourself, what if? Right? Hindsight is 2020. What if everyone in our country had a small generator? What if everyone in our country had a 2-week or a 1-month supply of food? I advocate for 1 year supply of sustenance and everything that you need in order to sustain your standard of living. But let's just knock it down to the very basics. What if everyone had a 2-week supply of food in their homes? What if everyone had a 2-week supply of water? How many of those 100+ people's lives would have been saved? Now, do you really want to put yourself in a situation, as some people did during that disaster, which is what it was? It was a disaster for those people and their families. Because had they prepared ahead of time, just a little bit, they'd have made it through. And what's coming, ladies and gentlemen, is not going to be as easy to get through as that was in February with what happened in Texas. It's not going to be as easy as that. It's going to be more difficult. I'm not trying to scare you, but in a way, I hope I am. Because I want you to take action. Think about it. Do a little bit of research. Look at what's going on around the world with the weather, with politics, with everything. And ask yourself, should I be putting away a little bit of food just in case? A little bit of water, maybe get a cheap water filter, a little Sawyer Mini that's $21 and will filter over 100,000 gallons of water. You know that when crises occur, the number one killer is water. People can't get clean water. So they drink what they can find, and then they get sick. That, and I believe mosquitoes. So ladies and gentlemen, prepare if you have not started. I mean, I can't say it enough, because things are not going to get any easier. I hope that you're taking heed to the warning. I hope that you're doing a little bit of your own research and realize that you need to get on board. The word prepper is not a bad word. The word prepper means that you're being responsible for yourself and your family, and putting things in place that will allow you to survive anything that may happen that would affect your daily life. That's all that is. Having said that, I hope you have a good day today. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper, and I'm out. Bless you guys.